Hello, I'm Emma, and today I'm going to introduce you to my clarinet. Clarinets are part of the woodwind family with the flute, oboe, bassoon, recorder and saxophone. And the body of my instrument, which is the black bit, is made from rosewood, which comes from a tree called the impingo that you can find in Africa. And to make a sound, I blow from the mouthpiece and the sound travels all the way down, and this bit at the bottom, which is called the bell, amplifies it and makes it really, really loud. So if I didn't have it on the end, the sound wouldn't travel as far and it wouldn't be as powerful. And to make that sound, I need a different sort of wood here. And this is called a reed, and I'll take it off so you can see properly. It's very, very delicate and very, very thin, but it takes 4 years to make a single one. So the cane that this comes from, which looks a bit like bamboo, grows up really, really tall for 2 years, and then it's cut down and harvested, and then it dries for another 2 years, and then is finally carved into this shape. And clarinetists get through hundreds of reeds every year, so just think about how long it's taken to make all of those. When I blow against my reed, it vibrates in the air like a flag in the wind, and it's that vibration that makes the distinctive sound. Clarinets are really versatile instruments, and they've been around in this sort of form for about 300 years, but they became really popular in about 1791 when a very famous composer called Mozart, who you may know, wrote a piece of music called the Claronet Concerto, which is still very, very loved by all clarinetists all over the world, and it sounded like this. After Mozart's time, a lot of different composers started to really explore the clarinet and its capabilities, and they wrote some very difficult music because there were a lot of very famous clarinetists around at the time who really wanted to show off. I'll play the opening of one of these, and I want you to listen out for how it starts off really high at the top of the clarinet's range and then goes right down to the bottom and then noodles around in the middle. Different to our Mozart. In the 20th century, people heard a totally different side of the clarinet when jazz was born. Now the clarinet, with its single reed, has an amazing flexibility which allows it to slide from note to note when it's playing up high in a technique that we call glissando. And I'll play it to you and you can hear how maybe you might have heard this before in some jazz music. Definitely not something Mozart would have used. And there's a very, very famous clarinet solo that makes use of this, which was written by George Gershwin in a piece called Rhapsody in Blue. And it opens the whole piece, and for me sounds like skyscrapers rising up from the ground. And it's really exciting music. And this was the first time that jazz and classical had come together and had been heard in a concert hall played by an orchestra. So I'm going to play the opening of this, and you're going to hear again how we go from the bottom of our range all the way to the top, and we have a great big glissando in the middle. About as far from the Mozart as we could possibly get. So you heard there how low the clarinet can play and how high the clarinet can play. So you've heard that whole huge range. I'll play you a scale that goes all the way up. It goes up higher than that as well. And some pieces use that whole range, which just shows you how versatile the clarinet is. If you want to hear a little bit more of the clarinet, there's a very cool player called Martin Frost who is worth checking out. He plays everything from music from before the clarinet's time to jazz, to folk, to pop, and he quite often dances. He sometimes wears a funny outfit. He's definitely worth watching. And Rhapsody in Blue is definitely worth a listen. It is a wonderful moment for the clarinet. I hope you enjoyed learning about the clarinet today. Bye bye.